When jealous, envious people begin to crash out in jealous rage, there are three things, three behaviors, three traits that they will display. This is when jealous people cross the line from being petty, vindictive, to being outright harmful and dangerous. Being petty, being shallow, superficial jealousy, that can be annoying, but jealousy does reach a point where it becomes very dangerous and you have to know the signs. When somebody is about to crash out in jealous rage, number one, they will threaten you with physical violence. People who are so jealous, so envious, so enraged by you that they want to lay hands on you, that is a telltale sign that they are about to crash out in jealous, envious rage. When a woman, or a man for that matter, can no longer control their jealousy towards you, their envy towards you, so much so that they want to put their hands on you, that's when jealousy becomes an extreme problem. And that's when you no longer need to be confident. You no longer need to try to stand against it. You need to run. You do not sit there and tolerate a jealous, envious crash out. A person who is so enraged with jealousy and envy that they can't control it anymore. They want to do you physical harm. There are so many women who have been impacted by physical harm because of jealous, envious crash outs, jealous, envious, enraged people who can no longer control or contain their emotions. They were so jealous of the person that they resorted to physical harmful behavior. They resorted to putting their hands on them and sometimes ending it all. When somebody is so jealous of you that they no longer want to see you exist on the earth, and they are starting to do things that are deliberately trying to harm you, and it might start out as subtle, even with physical, behaviors, and I'm using my words lightly because of YouTube monetization. I don't want any issues, but when somebody seeks to harm you physically, it can almost be like a subtle thing in the beginning where they're not outright going to hit you or put their hands on you, but they might do subtle bumps or suddenly become more focused on touching you, making physical contact with you in some way, brushing up against you, bumping into you. They might want you to get comfortable with them, with shoving you. Every time they laugh, they shove you. Every time they say something, they have to push you. Every time you do something, they act like it's funny. They got to push you. People want to subtly, especially when they're jealous and envious towards you, they almost like to try and groom you to believe that certain physical behaviors are normal. A woman who doesn't like you, she has no business putting her hands anywhere near you. But when you have women who are so jealous and envious of other women and they're trying to fake nice, they have a habit of sometimes, laughing, being fake with you, and they'll just touch you or tap you and act like it's no big deal. They're trying to get you comfortable with that touch as if they didn't mean it that way. And the way I see it, because I believe in negative spirits, if you want to say negative energy, I believe in negative spirits. I am very reluctant to let certain people touch me, to let anybody touch me, especially when it comes to people I don't know or people I just straight up get a bad vibe from. Like, you don't have to touch me to laugh. You don't have to touch me or get into my personal space to tell a joke. But when somebody is jealous and envious of you and they're leading up to their jealous rage where you might not really see it, but you can sense tension, they want you to be comfortable with them putting their hands on you in some way. How many times have you had an altercation with a woman, or she was jealous, envious, you had an argument, and they're trying to so-called calm you down, and they place their hand on you and say, I didn't mean it like that. Like, please no. That fake cordial thing they do until they eventually crash out. Be very careful with letting somebody put their hands on you, because not just in a straight out violent physical way, but just letting them put their hands on you in general, because that negative energy, if you want to say that, or that negative spirit, I just don't play games with those kind of things, with those kind of people. And when you are engaging in physical contact with someone and they mean you no harm, you don't know the way I see it, how the enemy can use that to try to impact you in some way. So normally when somebody wants to do something physical to you, especially when they're a crash out, meaning they are a person who tries to contain their jealousy and envy. They try to fake, act like they're nice to you. They try to act like they like you. And then eventually they explode in their jealous rage. They can't control it anymore. And they want to actually do you harm. Sometimes you will see signs of that by how aggressive they are with you, even when there's supposedly no issue. Don't be the woman that allows other women to just pat them like, girl, stop playing. Be this, be that. That's the reason why I am so opposed to women calling each other out of their names. I don't care if it's supposed to be cool, if it's supposed to be some kind of sign of endearment. Don't call me a four-legged dog. Don't call me anything other than my name, or maybe, hey, friend, something like that. But you don't call a woman a four-legged animal. Like all these derogatory names that women are using toward one another, I guarantee you when a woman is jealous and envious, it will no longer be that cute little pet name she's calling you out of your name. That will begin to be something straight up insulting and derogatory. As women, we have to take ourselves a little bit more seriously when it comes to dealing with people who might be on their way to end jealous rage, and about to crash out on us. Sometimes you see the signs right in front of you, but you take their overly aggressive behavior as somehow cute until they turn on you. So physical violence, when somebody, a man or woman alike, are so jealous of you that they want to do violence to you, that they want to fight you. They say things like they want to fight you. And a woman who's over the age of 30, I would say over the age of 25, it is very ghetto in nature to still be saying things like you want to fight somebody. But when a woman is so jealous of another woman and she feels like there's nothing she can do except to bring her physical harm, you might find yourself in a situation where now you're being called out in some way. And as I've said in my other videos, classy, unbothered women, we do not fight. We do not engage in unnecessary physical altercations. And what I mean by unnecessary is that if somebody's coming at you physically, you have to defend yourself, but we don't look and solve problems in that way. And when a woman is jealous and envious, when she's so enraged by you, when she's so jealous of you that she wants to fight you, that is an issue. I'll give you a small story. When I was 17 years old, I was working at a juicer, and I had a young lady that was working next to me at a pretzel place. And this young lady did not like me. She didn't like me. It was very obvious. And the reason being is because I was talking to a guy she worked with, and men showed me attention. And I'm not being conceited, but she thought I was cute. I had attention from guys. I was talking to different people, and she didn't like it. So I remember one night we were closing up. Mall was closed. We were all closing up. And she walks past the juice bar with a knife in her hand. She had a knife because she worked at a place where they had those kind of tools. But she didn't have to walk outside of the juice place with the knife. She walked past very slowly so that I would see her with it, and I overheard her talking to other people. What she was trying to do, she was trying to intimidate me, and she was trying to make me feel fearful as if she was going to do something to me. She walked past with the knife in her hand like she was going to do something. Naturally, of course, I'm calling security. Like, I'm not going to sit here and play those kind of games. I called security. Security came over just to be in the area as we were leaving, and that was that. Do you know? Now, this is sometimes the flip side of people and how weird that jealous energy can be. I saw this young lady as I was going to the train. It was just me and her, no people around. We were done work. I saw this young lady as I was walking to the train, and she was walking to her destination, just me and her in the street. I walked right past her. She said nothing. She did nothing. And this just goes to show you how sometimes do what I did. If you feel like you're in some kind of physical violence, threatened in some way, call the police, call security, whatever you need to do. But a lot of times people, women with that jealous, envious rage, with that just petty mentality, they are often women, as I've said in my other video, Humiliation Tactics. They want to do things for an audience. They want to get you fearful, intimidated in front of an audience, but when left to yourselves, they're like little mouses, like little mice. We were right there with one another. I walked right past her and she said nothing to me at all. See, women like that, I have to say, they are very much little mice. They're very cowardly. They're very, they need a lot of backup in order to feel good about themselves. So a lot of times when a woman threatens violence against another woman, when she's jealous and enraged by you, she will often need to do that in front of an audience. So don't be, surprised if suddenly a crash out, a jealous crash out, takes out their rage on you in front of other people. Because very rarely will it even count to a jealous, envious woman, a jealous, envious person, if they're not able to do harm to you or to humiliate you or threaten you in front of the masses. So when it comes to physical violence, when it comes to somebody trying to crash out on you, they're so jealous of you that they want to do you physical harm. You have to make sure that you are seeing the signs, and there is no time as a grown woman. There is no time to try to prove how tough you are. Feminine, classy, unbothered women do not operate that way. When you feel like you are in harm's way, you have to take the necessary steps to protect yourself, be it if you're going to counteract their attack or you're going to call the authorities. But do what you have to do to protect yourself. That is not the time to be trying to show somebody how tough you are. That is the time to get up out of there and get away from that jealous, wicked, demonic spirit. Number one. The number two sign that a jealous, envious person is about to crash out is that they resort to tactics like stalking. Now, I had someone mention about gang stalking, and while I've never really heard of the terminology, stalking is a very real thing. And when you start seeing jealous people, envious people who don't talk to you, who don't like you, but suddenly they're in your space, suddenly they are everywhere you are, they just happen to be around, people they're affiliated with, but these people don't like you. These people don't want to see the best for you. They just want to see you fail in some way, and they just happen to be every place you are watching you. Suddenly you start a new job, now they're working at that job. You start going to a gym, now they're at the gym. You start going to another school, now they're at that school. It's like somehow, some way, they want to try to be and act. They want to activate your space. They want to be where you are. A jealous, envious person who is about to crash out, they will make occasion to be wherever you are. They will invite themselves to places where they know you will be, even if they don't like you. Let's say you're a friend of a friend in common, and this person, they can't stand you. But it's one of those things, like the saying goes, they love to hate you. They have to be where you are. When somebody resorts to stalking, even though they do not like you, but they want to be in your space, that is a sign that you are in danger and you need to protect yourself by probably calling the authorities and getting some kind of restraining order or some kind of protection in place for yourself. When somebody, especially men are good for this too, they have that mentality, jealous men, when they have that mentality that if they can't have you, nobody can have you. A jealous man, sometimes they will resort to stalking. They want to pop up wherever you are, pop up at your job. So many women have been harmed by men who cannot, accept the fact that the woman no longer wants to be with them. And because of that, they resort to stalking. They even stalk the new person that they're with. They will pop up where their children are. I know this topic is not something very nice to talk about, but when it comes to jealousy and envy and jealous rage, when people are about to crash out, they can resort to stalking you. And stalking is not something to be taken lightly. Seeing a man pop up wherever you are does not mean you're that girl. It means that he has some kind of mental problem, and you should not take that lightly. If a man pops up and you do not want him there, you have a right to defend yourself in way of authorities. Don't try to counteract that yourself. And even with women who are so weird and such have that weirdo energy where now they're just around in your space, but they don't like you, but now they're doing the same things you're doing. And that's the reason why I tell women to make sure you keep your things, your ideas, and the things you plan to do private. Because when you're dealing with a jealous, envious woman who has stalker tendencies, not meaning she just pops up wherever you are, but she wants to copy your life and she doesn't like you. She doesn't admire you. She desires to sabotage you. A jealous, envious woman who resorts to stalking, you have to be very mindful of sharing your life with a person like that. You could tell her, and I've seen this happen, where you'll tell somebody that you're going to do something or you plan on buying something, and because they're so jealous, they'll go out and try to get the opportunity before you do. They'll go apply for the same job in hopes that the people choose them over you. They will do things to try to so-called block your opportunities, so-called block your blessings. And as I have said before, nobody can really stop what God has for you the way I see it, but they can definitely try. And people who are jealous and envious and intend to crash out in some way, that's when it gets to dangerous level. That's when it's like they don't care how you're impacted. They don't care if you're harmed physically, psychologically. They just don't want to see you succeed. Jealous people are very jealous of other people's successes. And when they begin to crash out, they will begin to plot on your territory. They will begin to infringe on territory that is already yours. They will begin to try and sabotage, which is the third thing that jealous, envious people do when they are ready to crash out. They want to sabotage your blessings, sabotage your opportunities, and sabotage the things you have going on for yourself. When a woman is jealous and envious to the point that she's ready to crash out, she will blatantly approach your man. And I say that because relationships seem to be a hot button issue, especially when it comes to jealous women who are jealous of other people's relationships. They will blatantly approach your man and offer their body to them willingly, whether or not your man takes the bait that says something about him. But when a woman is so jealous and envious of the happiness that you have in your relationship, she will have no problem inserting herself into your relationship. She will have no problem trying to seduce and attract the one that is yours. Jealous women are nothing to play with when it gets to that level where, jealous people, they already don't have any respect for you. But when they are about to crash out, they will pop up at your man's job. They will pop up at your man's DMs. They will call him, find his number, find his Instagram, find his Facebook, find whatever he has, and try to make herself more appealing to him simply because you have him. See, jealous, envious people who are about to crash out, people who are enraged with jealousy, they want to take everything you have. They want to see you fail at everything you do, and they don't want to see any signs of happiness in your life. There are women who are so enraged with jealousy and envy toward women that they will break up happy homes simply because they have a man that she wants. And instead of doing the work or becoming that kind of a woman that appeals to that type of man, she just wants to take what's yours. And it's not just relationships that jealous, envious, enraged people will try to sabotage, even your job opportunities. You could be in a high position in your job, and you could have someone actually want to see you fail in that position simply because they want to be there. They'll begin to make up rumors like you're stealing from the company. They will make up rumors that they see you doing things that you shouldn't do. They will make up rumors that you're sleeping on the job. They will make up rumors that you are doing inappropriate things. When people are about to crash out in jealous rage, they resort to lies, tricks, manipulation. They try to do all these other things to make other people see you in a bad light. When somebody's about to crash out in jealousy and envy, now they want the masses to see what they see about you, even though it's not true. They see you as this horrible person who doesn't deserve anything that they have simply because they're jealous and envious. And that's when the humiliation tactics take place. That's when the attempted bullying tactics take place. That is when the threat of violence and harm take place. And jealous, envious, enraged crashouts are nothing to play with. So when somebody tries to incite violence towards you, that is when you need to really be on alert and do the appropriate action, as in getting the authorities involved, getting yourself some protection, and doing what you need to do to stay away from those jealous, envious crash outs. The number 2 thing, stalking. When people are everywhere you are, when it's very clear and obvious, and I'm not saying in a way that makes, you're just thinking this in your head. I mean, for sure that this person is always where you are. The people that you don't like, they don't like, they're just suddenly in the same spaces. You need to watch your back and make sure that you are taking the necessary measures to protect yourself against their stalking. If you are able to approach them, if you're able to get somebody to approach them, there are, it's power in numbers. In addition to your spirituality, I believe in protecting yourself spiritually, but there is power in numbers. Get people who can back you up. Never stand alone. And if you have to stand alone, make sure you get the authorities involved. And the number 3 thing jealous, enraged crash outs attempt to do is sabotage your opportunities. And that's why you have to master the art of becoming a more private woman. Stop telling these people all of your business, because sometimes you don't know if you're talking to your enemy. So as women, dealing with jealous, envious crash outs, that is no joke. When jealousy reaches a point of violence, it's no longer petty. It's no longer anything you could just stand, 10 toes down on. It's something you need to run from and make sure that you're able to counteract that in some way. Protect yourself spiritually, physically, and get away from those people. And whatever you do not try to keep giving people the benefit of the doubt simply because you don't want things to seem worse than what they are. If your intuition tells you, if your spirit tells you something is wrong, and this is not normal behavior, believe it. All right? Like and subscribe to the channel and share this content. Hit the notification bell so that you're aware when I post a brand new video. If you watch this video until the very end, put the high heel emoji in the comment section. I absolutely love to see it. Take care.